there is more than abundant water on the world, but 97% of all of that water is salt water. So there's 3% left of all of the water. And of that water, 2%, i.e. 2/3 of that, is in glaciers and in ice caps. So there's only 1% of all of the water in the world which is fresh water. Now, if you know that 70% of all of that fresh water is used for agriculture, that little tiny bit left is for us to drink and for industries and for other uses. So that's where the problem begins. And that's also where we start with the solution, taking salt water, turning it into drinking water. My name is Arid. I'm the CEO of a company called Desolenator, and what we do is circular water desalination. My background is mostly in the energy industry, and to be honest, actually water and energy are so tightly connected that it's more of the same. So the technology to turn seawater into drinking water generally is called desalination, and the most common method to do that is something called reverse osmosis. It's actually pushing water through a filter with a lot of pressure. That means a lot of CO2 emissions in the process because you have to build up the pressure. It also means a whole bunch of chemicals used to clean these membranes, the filters, and all of that gets back into the environment, both the CO2 emissions as well as the brine. And the technology which we use, we actually eliminate both of these problems. We don't have any CO2 emissions, we don't have any toxic brine. Our founder was living in the Middle East, and he was looking at solar panels at the time, and he thought, how weird is it that if the temperature in the solar panel increases, that the efficiency suddenly drops to 0? What if we would circulate some water through the solar panel and cool it? It would be more efficient. And then he thought, oh, you know what? If I do something really smart, I can even boil the water in that solar panel, put some dirty water on top and some clean water at the bottom. And he thought somebody would have thought of it before. So he asked a patent attorney to look at it, and the answer was nobody's actually thought of this before. So he patented this probably 10 years ago. And in Dubai, we were participating in an accelerator, and they said, we love your technology, but so one of these panels can do 20 liters of water a day. Can you make it 1,000 times bigger? Okay, well, back to the drawing board. So our founder has actually re-engineered the product and the solution to get to a centralized solution which can produce, in this case, 1,000 times more water, so about 25,000 liters of water per day, using still solar panels, both PV, which is solar voltaic, and PVT, using thermal as well. And in the process, thought, you know what, actually I'm just using heat. The heat is available from the sun. I could also use heat from another source where it is freely available without any CO2 emissions. What we're doing is a thermal process. So like you might have been doing in high school, boiling water. This is called distillation. We do it in a smarter way. So we boil the water at 70 degrees Celsius rather than 100 degrees Celsius, meaning we use less energy in a system called multi-effect distillation. So we do it in a couple of rounds. And the way we're doing it, actually, we're using a form of heat which is already available. That could either be solar power, it could be geothermal, it could be waste heat from industry. In fact, it could be the waste heat coming out of all of these abundant data centers, which we use to power our system to generate ultra-pure water, to cool the data center. So in fact, we're not only bringing water, we're also bringing cooling. All of these assets under development right now need cooling, and they do that either using a lot of electricity or a lot of water or a combination of both. And often these things are built in very, very water scarce places. Looking at Colorado, Nevada, Texas, California, Saudi Arabia, Oman, they build these data centers in very, very arid places, and there's no water availability, which will probably mean that they will need more electricity, but to generate that electricity they will need water again, even more so. So this let's say this solution which we have to use waste heat from the data centers is really spot on for now, and something which I feel proud of also for my kids and my grandkids, that I did something to make the world slightly better. We can actually turn data centers from water guzzlers into net water producers. How cool is that? So my hope is that by 2050, everybody actually starts to connect the dots where we believe that there is a nexus between energy, water and food. And there is abundantly available. The sun is shining, there is earth below us, and we can generate energy to produce water, which you need. I'm very, very confident about technology. I believe there's a lot of opportunity. It will also need people, but you also need to have the political willingness to move this direction. And I'm generally an optimist, let's say by nature, so I do believe we will be able to do that.